Hey everybody, Sean Halley here at Line 6. Today we're really excited to have Oz Noy in the studio with us. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Sure.
I mean, you've been on the road quite a bit lately.
Yeah, I've been running around.
So we're in Los Angeles. Basically, we're here to talk a little bit about sort of you. How do you think about, or how did you begin to sort of like gather the concept that you now have using effects? You use effects sometimes to highlight one passage or whatever, or sometimes you use it to actually compose a tune around. I mean, where did that kind of stuff start?
It developed from me writing music for my group. That actually Line 6 had a big part of it. The green Line 6, the DL4 came out, but when it came out, it was a big deal because it had a few different delays in it. The sound was great, and it had that reverse stuff, and it had the looper. So it was a big deal for me because suddenly it gave me a lot more, you know, options. But there's a set of things that I kind of, by now, it's kind of my concept. For example, the thing with the Leslie where, you know, I don't know, I can play a line, and if I want to accent like some chordal thing, I'll just turn it on and off while I'm playing. Like, I do it on a lot of songs. It's just a... and then...
Well, it's almost like you've got a horn section or a B3 player just helping with that stab or
something. And I do it a lot. Like, I'll do that on and off with... I wrote this one blues on the Schizophrenic record where I do this, I only hit the Leslie with the bass notes. You know what I mean? So it accents certain parts of the composition. One of my friends was playing me a track that he did where, you know, on Pro Tools you can do those cuts like the helicopter stuff. Yeah, right. So I had it in mind. I was like, wow, I'd like to kind of try to get that into, to fit certain tunes. You know what I mean? So I had one tremolo where I can do it here on a slower, where the cut wasn't as fast. You know what I mean? And then you can do it really quick. So it depends on like, it depends on what I use it for. Like the really fast stuff, I use it more as a rhythmical idea. You know, if you play rhythm, for example. You know what I mean? It's like more like a. I think about it musically. I don't think about it as an effect. The way I use delays is it kind of got evolved over the years. I have to have a slap delay that's on all the time. I have to have a reverse delay, and then I have to have one repeat, and then I have to have like kind of more like a ballad kind of thing, like so, like a longer delay, and then I have to have that Line 6 sweep echo, and then there's other functions on the M13 or M9, like on the Line 6 stuff that I can do with the expression pedal. I do the expression pedal and I make it do the feedback all the way up. So that's pretty much infinite repeats. And so what you can do, like if I play, you know, it's something that you can't do on a memory manager. You can make those kind of sounds that, like you could create those draws.
To elongate the notes, basically.
Exactly. So it's almost like you have a sustain pedal on the guitar. Right. You know what I mean? So that's a big deal for me.
So, do you use the expression pedal for other stuff too?
Yeah, I use it mostly for, there's two things. I use it for the feedback. The other expression pedal is always for the looper. The looper is always, you know, on the M13 I always have the looper on, always. The thing that I like about the new line, like the M9 and M13, is I can do tap tempo on the reverse stuff. If I put the reverse and I tap tempo, you can kind of get close enough. You know. That's a huge deal. That wasn't there before, and that's a big deal, you know? The M13 came out. Once I figured it out, there's no way back for me now. Because, you know, first of all, the looper is better. It's got more time, and there's more functions for the reverse and the high speed, the half speed, you know.
Right.
And then, you know, you have tap tempo for everything.
And they all sync inside the box.
And they all sync, so that's a big deal, you know what I mean?
So I guess it would be safe to say that you pretty much need an M9 or an M13 to do a gig nowadays, it looks like.
Yeah, well, if I do my own thing, there's really nowhere around it. I have to have one of those too.
How do you think about the amps? I mean, do you use, when you're using an amp live, do you do a lot of channel switching and a lot of changing with the amp, or do you set the amp up kind of in one place and let the pedal board do the work?
I don't do any channel switching. My sound is pretty basic. It's a guitar into pretty much a delay pedal into an amp.
So do you use the effects loop or just all right in the front?
No effect loops. Every booster that I use, whether it's a tube screamer or an AC booster, RC booster, or any kind of thing like that, or an Octavia or whatever, any of those things, it kind of just boosts the sound for me. So it just gives me more sustain and more, like the size of the sound get bigger. That's why, you know, I have one of the Line 6 amps, and when I'm on the road, I try to use them a lot, just because I can really get it to sound like my amp and to feel like my amps, really. It reacts the same, and for me, that's the most important thing when I don't play my gear, because otherwise, it's very hard for me to play. I have less sustain. I have the sound small. You know what I mean?
Or if you're not going to use high gain, you need some of that compression to help.
Yeah, exactly. So those amps, that's why I've been playing those amps a lot. Every time on the road, I'm trying to get those, because this is always consistent. You know, you get some certain Fender amps or Vox amps. You don't ever know what you're going to get. It's really tricky. So that helps a lot. And that's why I've been using this a lot.